Nobody's ever gonna take your place. Yeah, I think we should meet in the middle. I follow you cause you're the light of the day. I need you like you need me, it's so simple. It's so simple.
Welcome back to the Gen X Juggler Podcast. I'm so glad you're here, and I really just want to take a minute to say thank you for sticking around with me this summer and enjoying the summer replays. It warms my heart that you've continued to support the podcast. Season 2 is right around the corner. It's August 7th. August 7th is the release of Season 2. I have been working on it all summer long, and I am so excited to share it with you. I've got some amazing guests that I'm honored to have connected with over the summer. And one really cool thing that I'm looking forward to is I'm pivoting to video. You will be able to find every Gen X Juggler podcast starting in Season 2 on YouTube, on the Gen X Juggler YouTube channel. I realized that we Gen Xers, we like to see stuff, right? We are the MTV generation. Just listening sometimes isn't enough. You'll still be able to find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean, but if you want to actually watch some episodes, Season 2 is your chance. So look forward to August 7th. I can't wait. And now for the summer replay. This week's summer replay is the saga of Windfall Wanda and Swindler Sam, the unfortunately very true story of how my friend Lori's elderly loved one was scammed out of hundreds of thousands of dollars by one of those ruthless telephone scammers who has absolutely no problem targeting our most vulnerable. At the end, she gives some really great advice on how to help your loved one avoid the same fate. The information presented on this podcast is for entertainment and informational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice in any field, including legal, medical, financial, or mental health. The views expressed by guests on this podcast are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and/or producers. Lori and I have been best friends since the 3rd grade. We met in the 2nd grade, but we're both only children, so there may have been a bit of a power struggle initially. By the 3rd grade, we realized that we were 2 peas in a pod, and if we joined forces, nobody could stop us. And I'm so glad we did. She has walked through so many ups and downs with me and kept me going with her sincere heart and unfailing wit. We didn't get to live our dream of raising our families next door to one another and having barbecues every weekend, but we live next door in our hearts, and that's what counts. Today, Lori brings us a story that boggles the mind. How can anyone set out to purposefully take advantage of our most vulnerable loved ones? If you've watched the movie The Beekeeper, you've seen these people get what they deserve, Jason Statham style. But all too often, Jason Statham isn't around when we need him. Unfortunately, someone Lori knows and dearly loves fell victim to the scheme of an unscrupulous trickster. Lori's here today to share what happened to her loved one and to tell us what we can do to protect those we love. Lori, I'm so glad you're here today. Welcome.
Hey, Debbie. I am so honored to be a guest on your podcast. I think it's amazing that you're doing this, and what an incredible help it is to so many. And you've had some amazing guests with so much valuable advice, inspiring stories, and lots of references that make it so much fun to think back when times were just a little more simple and honestly not so scary. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. I'm so glad you're here today, and I am very intrigued by the story that you have to share.
Thank you. I want to share about a topic that I think is honestly one of the most frightening things I've ever encountered. So, to anyone out there who, like me, is a bit of a control freak, buckle up, baby, because this one's going to push you about as far as your limit will take you. So, I do want to give a little disclaimer because what I'm about to share with you is a true story. But to protect the innocent, I've written it out in story form so I make sure that I can give you some pretty good details, but also protect those that were truly involved. So, I've entitled it On the Potty with Lore. This crap is crazy.
There's that unfailing wit, and I would say that is appropriately titled.
So, to start out, I'm not sure if anyone is familiar with the popular Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes that can totally solve all your problems and make your dreams come true. Or perhaps consider how few people actually win. You think I'm wrong? Well, ask yourself, how many people do you know who won Publishers Clearinghouse?
I don't know any people who've won Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Me neither. Well, okay, actually, I do know someone.
Ooh, do tell.
Okay, but to protect the innocent, we'll call her Windfall Wanda, who not only won a Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes, but simultaneously, she also won Procter& and Gamble, another sweepstakes she didn't even enter, and the Texas Lottery Mega Millions. It's true.
Wow, she is one lucky gal. How in the world did this happen?
Well, so Wanda has a friend who called her up. We'll call this man Swindler Sam. But don't be confused by his name. This is the guy you can trust. Really. Swindler Sam told Wanda all she has to do to get her millions is to get a cashier's check for $10,000. And that once she sends the check to Swindler Sam, at his home address, I might add, he will get all the prizes bundled up, throw in a couple of luxury SUVs, Wanda's color and style choices, of course, and bring them right over. Well, of course, Windfall Wanda gets her $10,000 together, and she sent the cashier's check right over to Sam. The only problem? There's been a little hiccup, and he's going to need a little more money to cover the taxes and some other legal stuff that will take quite a bit of capital up front. But not to worry, with the millions Wanda would be receiving, this would be a drop in the bucket. So Windfall Wanda, the savvy lady she is, understands how the legal system works and knows what red tape looks like. So she was willing to send Sam some more money. Somewhere in their conversations, Wanda shared that she had recently received a settlement and that the extra expense wouldn't be a problem at this time. Insert evil grin from Swindler Sam. I'm not sure if you're picking up what's happening here, but let me spell it out. Windfall Wanda received a sizable settlement, told Sam about it, and now Sam is telling Wanda she's won all these different prizes, preying on Wanda's trust, her innocence, naivety, definitely her emotions, and gullibility, until Sam literally stole every dime Wanda received.
I'm starting to really not like Swindler Sam. And you might think this story could end here and be bad enough. But, Gen X Jugglers, as Paul Harvey would say, and now, here's the rest of the story.
I love it. So next, Sam calls Wanda to inform her that they are now in the final stages of the prize payout, and all he needs now is about $15,000. Send it to me in a cashier's check to be able to finalize everything and get Wanda her big payday. Well, now that she's absolutely broke, she's even more gullible and willing to do what it takes to make this happen. She wants all that prize money. But she then reminds Sam that she doesn't have $15,000 anymore in the bank. So Sam has a solution. He coaches her to go to a local shopping establishment. We can refer to this place as down to your last dollar store. Here, she'll purchase $3,000 worth of gift cards using her credit card. Next, well, I really hope you're sitting down for this one. Sam then tells Wanda, once she gets in the car, to call and give him the numbers off the back of the cards. Then she can simply throw them away. What Wanda doesn't realize is that Sam just stole more money from her. And this particular money is untraceable because it came off these cards. Wanda proceeds to continue doling out money for everything from legal fees to taxes to hotel fees for them to stay in while they bring her her prize, to heaven only knows what other reasons there were.
Poor Wanda. I've seen these gift card scams against older people on YouTube, but usually on these videos, there's a good Samaritan or somebody there to step in and save them before they make a terrible mistake. Sadly, I think few people take the time to notice when something's really off, like an older individual buying thousands of dollars of gift cards.
In this day and age, I feel like it's okay to ask a few polite questions and make sure a situation like that is on the up and up and look for signs of coercion, just in case.
That's absolutely true. And in the real story, this happened multiple times. Wanda was even asked to go to multiple cities because the stores would stop to sell her the cards. So then she would have to go to another city. She's an elderly lady, and they had her driving all over the countryside looking for places to buy gift cards so that they could steal more money from her.
That's disgusting.
It is. It's very disgusting. You're right. So, Wanda's sweet husband, this entire time, was so worried about her. We can call him Anxious Andy because he spent every day trying to figure out how to get her to stop talking to these people, how to get these people, who can help, and how to help Wanda understand that these people are simply just using her to steal. Anxious Andy is appalled when he sees the credit card bills show up that has grown to over six figures. Swindler Sam steps in to try to smooth it over by opening a bank account in Wanda's name so that she can pay her card with the funds that he deposited in this account. All Wanda was given was a routing number and an account number. These numbers literally could have been taken from any other person who was also duped and sent them money with a personal check. Wanda was certain she could trust Sam, that it was her account, and she simply used it to pay off her credit card. But when she went in person to the bank to find out the balance, she was informed that the account, in fact, was real. The transaction was documented, but it wasn't her account, and no information could be shared with her.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have a question. This definitely sounds illegal, obviously, but how does this account full of money that Wanda was allowed to use for her credit card benefit the scammer?
Sam made Wanda unknowingly launder money. And to top it off, Wanda was the only one who was committing a crime that was traceable back to her. Sam is in the clear because he is not in the US and his name was never used on the paperwork. But all Wanda knew was that Sam called her with a routing number and an account number, and that's what she used. May I remind you that these numbers are printed on the bottom of a personal check? Which this means to me that Sam likely didn't even know whose account the money came out of either. He was the guy that supposedly opened the account, but likely he just gave Wanda numbers off of the last check he received in the mail from another trusting person.
That's insane. Our older loved ones come from a time when they could just trust people, even over the phone. Or at very least, they could trust that they were dealing with an actual business for whom they could get an address and know a practical location if necessary. Therefore, I think they probably don't even consider the fact that they may be dealing with a foreign entity who's just lying through their teeth.
That's so true. And unfortunately, it happens so often. And when you're in the thick middle of it, you don't know what to do. You don't know who to turn to. You don't know how to make it stop. And what do you do once everything your loved ones worked so hard for all their life is literally gone? When I say these people have no moral compass, that is a grave understatement. These predators are not on US soil, as Wanda and Andy found out when they visited the FBI to see what could be done. They found out that there are many cases against people just like Sam. And in fact, there were 50 cases against the very man named Swindler Sam. But the red tape and legal hoops make it near impossible for even the FBI to catch them.
Sounds like it's time to call the beekeeper. I'm just kidding. Just
I
kidding.
totally agree.
So, from your experience, what is our best course of action to protect our vulnerable loved ones?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Debbie. That's a great question. My hope is that in sharing this on your podcast today, that we can all keep a close eye on the loved ones in our lives who would potentially be ripped off by these evil people. The money stolen is literally funding things like human trafficking, the fentanyl crisis, cartels, and many other terrible things. So, would you mind if I make a public service announcement?
I would love for you to.
Okay, Gen Xers. Here's my public service announcement. Please talk to your parents, your friends, and even your kids. Make sure they understand that anytime you win a real prize, the taxes are garnished. They're never expected to be paid up front. I do want to say that Publishers Clearinghouse is a real sweepstakes, but they don't call you constantly. They don't make you pay up front. They don't coax you into sending money to a personal address, and they would never extort you in any way. And you can go onto their website to check and see if, in fact, you are a winner in their sweepstakes. You would be contacted, but you won't owe anything, and you won't be hounded to send them money before your prize is even delivered. The lottery does not have a list of winners. You must buy a ticket and turn it in to claim a prize. Also, there is no prince in Nigeria who needs your help. Your bank will never, ever call or text you to confirm or validate your personal information. Social Security does not need your donations to fund them. Believe me, you donate plenty through your paycheck. And most importantly, when in doubt, go with your gut. If it feels like a scam, it probably is. You can always ask for a caller's employee number, their government ID, or tell them that you need to call them back. And then go find the number for the establishment and call them directly. If a telemarketer calls you, you can simply tell them it's a business line. They'll hang up on you. Sorry, not sorry for that one. Guys, our parents and our older loved ones are a treasure, and we must respect and care for them to maintain their dignity and honor them in what can be the hardest part of their lives. Give them grace, help them understand, and always watch their back. After all, they watched ours when we needed them to.
That is so well said. And it's not that our loved ones are less intelligent, it's that the criminals are more creative.
That's very true, Debbie.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today and sharing Windfall Wanda's story, which unfortunately is not just a story for way too many people these days. But I appreciate you shedding light on this, telling your experience. I know it'll be helpful to so many. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. It truly was an honor.
That does it for this episode of the Gen X Juggler Podcast. We hope that Lori's story helps you and your loved ones to avoid ending up in Windfall Wanda's shoes. Swindler Sam definitely needs a visit from the beekeeper. No, I don't condone violence at all. But if I did, Swindler Sam would be in big trouble. Sadly, Lori's story is not a movie. It's a very true story which happened to very real, honest, hardworking people. Lori and Windfall Wanda are still looking for answers on how to deal with this situation going forward. If you have any useful advice to offer, they would love to hear it. I look forward to our next time together. Until then, friend, stay safe, keep your loved ones safe, and let's keep on juggling.
Yeah, I think we should meet in the middle. I follow you 'cause you're the light of the day. I need you like you need me, it's so simple. It's so simple.